Good evening and welcome back to Iraqi Dinar News, where facts speak louder than fear. Today, we're tackling one of the most talked about topics shaking the global dinar community: the rumors, the worries, and the truth behind Iraq's latest exchange rate changes. For weeks, online forums and social media have been flooded with claims that Iraq might LOP its currency, a word that instantly sparks anxiety for investors everywhere. But tonight, we separate fear from fact. What's really happening? Is Iraq about to erase zeros and destroy international holdings overnight? Or is this just another misunderstanding of how modern monetary systems actually work? Stay tuned, because by the end of this report, you'll understand exactly what's going on, why investors should not panic, and how Iraq's recent reforms could mark the start of a new economic chapter, not a financial disaster. So grab your notepad, silence the rumors, and listen carefully, because the truth will surprise you. Iraq's recent monetary adjustments have sparked confusion, especially among international holders of the dinar. Many see headlines or half-translated policy notes and assume the worst. The internet fills in the blanks with speculation, often turning small changes into global crises. But in reality, what's unfolding is a careful and technical restructuring of Iraq's currency system, one designed to strengthen the economy, not weaken it. The Central Bank of Iraq has been working methodically to modernize its financial infrastructure. This includes improving digital payment systems, reducing reliance on cash, and aligning with international standards set by global institutions. These are not the actions of a collapsing currency. They are the moves of a nation preparing to rejoin the global financial stage. When you see rate adjustments or redenomination discussions, remember, context matters. These are administrative steps, not warnings of economic collapse. Now, let's tackle the biggest fear head on: the dreaded word, LOP. It's repeated across online groups like an alarm bell, but what does it actually mean? In economic terms, a redenomination is simply a technical correction to simplify how citizens handle money. It usually happens after periods of inflation, when people must carry stacks of bills just to buy groceries. To fix that, the government might issue new notes that remove zeros. For example, a 1,000 dinar note becomes a 1 dinar note, but it still buys the same loaf of bread. The key point is this: the purchasing power does not change for those living inside the country. It's a recalibration, not a reset. Think of it like switching from centimeters to meters, different numbers, same distance. This process is entirely domestic. It affects how local citizens count and spend their money inside Iraq. International investors, on the other hand, operate in a completely separate system: the global foreign exchange market. When you hold Iraqi dinar as an investment outside Iraq, it exists within international banking frameworks governed by exchange rates and foreign currency standards. Those rates are recognized globally and apply uniformly. That means any official change, whether appreciation, stabilization, or revaluation, reflects across the international financial network equally. There's no such thing as a domestic LOP secretly erasing the value of internationally held notes. That's simply not how global banking works. To understand why, we must separate domestic value from international exchange value. Inside Iraq, currency is a practical tool for everyday trade: wages, rent, and groceries. Outside Iraq, it's a tradable asset linked to the nation's economic strength and policy decisions. These two systems coexist but do not interfere with one another. When a redenomination happens inside a country, it only affects how citizens handle local cash. Meanwhile, the global exchange rate continues to represent Iraq's economic position internationally. That's why no modern nation has ever wiped out foreign investors through a domestic redenomination. It would destroy global confidence instantly, and Iraq, now rebuilding its credibility, would never risk that. So, why does the fear persist? It's simple misunderstanding. For years, online communities have blurred the lines between redenomination and devaluation. They imagine that removing zeros means removing value. But economists agree redenomination is bookkeeping, not devaluation. Iraq's central bank officials have stated repeatedly that their goal is monetary stability, not panic. They've been building trust with global institutions like the IMF and World Bank, implementing reforms that bring transparency and digital security. Every step taken since 2023 has aimed to attract, not scare away, international investors. Let's think logically. Why would Iraq spend over a little decade rebuilding its reputation, modernizing its banking system, and inviting foreign investors only to suddenly destroy their trust with a LOP that wipes out value? That would be economic suicide. The truth is, Iraq's strategy depends on credibility. The world's confidence in the dinar is the foundation for its reintegration into international trade. Any decision that harms global investors would instantly cripple that goal. That's why the central bank's reforms are cautious, structured, and aligned with international standards. Stability brings trade. Trade brings growth. Growth strengthens the currency. It's important to understand that Iraq's currency supply is divided between domestic circulation and international holdings. The vast majority of dinar notes move within Iraq's local economy, used for salaries, bills, and markets. International holders, however, keep their dinar outside Iraq's borders, often through financial institutions or reserves. Any redenomination applied inside Iraq would adjust domestic notes, while internationally recognized notes would remain tied to global valuation. This separation ensures stability on both fronts: domestic simplification, global trust. Another key point is the introduction of currency controls, government regulations that manage how money moves across borders. Nearly every country has them, from the United States to Japan. In Iraq's case, these controls are essential. They ensure that new, smaller domestic notes, once introduced, never circulate internationally. That prevents confusion and speculation abroad. Meanwhile, the existing larger notes, which are already recognized internationally, will remain the foundation for global trading and foreign exchange. It's a two-tier system, one for citizens, one for global commerce, and it's been used successfully by many countries in transition. If you're still unsure, let's look at history. Nations like Turkey, Brazil, and Russia have all undergone similar transitions. They issued new notes domestically, restructured their currencies, and stabilized their economies, all while protecting the value of foreign-held assets. No investor lost legitimate holdings because of a domestic redenomination. Iraq is following a proven playbook, not inventing a risky experiment. Its goal is modernization and international credibility. Now, what about the idea that Iraq can't afford to raise the value of its currency? That assumption couldn't be further from the truth. Iraq is not a poor nation scraping for survival. It sits atop some of the largest proven oil reserves in the world and is expanding rapidly into construction, energy, and trade. As political stability improves, the dinar's strength becomes both a reflection and a tool of progress. Revaluation is not a desperate act, it's a declaration of national confidence. A stronger currency means cheaper imports, more foreign investment, and broader participation in regional commerce. When Iraq's economy grows, everyone benefits: citizens, companies, and, yes, international investors who believed in its long-term potential. A respected currency opens doors to global markets. It makes transactions transparent, trade smoother, and partnerships more reliable. The ripple effect extends far beyond Iraq's borders. A thriving Iraq contributes to Middle Eastern stability and global energy balance. So, rather than seeing reforms as threats, investors should recognize them as signs of revival. The conversation also extends into technology. Iraq has publicly discussed modernizing through digital finance, potentially introducing a digital dinar or central bank digital currency, CBDC. This would connect Iraq's local economy with the international financial system seamlessly. Through blockchain technology, transactions become faster, more secure, and impossible to counterfeit. This move signals progress, not peril. It shows that Iraq is stepping into the 21st century of global finance. For investors, that's a green flag, not a red one. The creation of a digital dinar will also help fight corruption, improve tax transparency, and streamline trade. Every transaction becomes verifiable and traceable, which reassures global institutions that Iraq is serious about reform. This transparency builds the kind of trust that strengthens currency value long term. When you hear about digital integration, don't think risk, think modernization. Iraq is laying the foundation for a stable and efficient economy built on trust and technology. Now, let's talk about preparation. Instead of worrying if a revaluation will happen, smart investors should focus on how to prepare for it. Holding currency is only the first step. Managing the outcome wisely is where success lies. When the value shifts, proper tax planning, documentation, and diversification will be crucial. The U.S. Internal Revenue Service may classify gains from a revaluation as capital gains, meaning taxes will apply. Consulting a qualified financial advisor or tax attorney before any major exchange event could save you a fortune. High net worth individuals prepare for such moments by creating structures like trusts or foundations. One effective strategy often discussed by wealth planners is the charitable remainder unitrust, a financial vehicle that turns one-time assets into lifetime income while minimizing taxes. It's not a loophole, it's a well-respected planning method that merges financial security with charitable impact. Investors who think ahead, building a team of tax professionals, estate planners, and advisors will be ready to move quickly and responsibly when change occurs. This is what separates winners from worriers, preparation over panic. The wealthy don't react emotionally to financial events. They prepare structurally, understanding that discipline and timing matter more than hype. If you hold Iraqi Dinar, start planning now, document your purchase records, consult professionals, and build your advisory network. When opportunity knocks, you'll be ready legally, strategically, and confidently. Let's zoom out and bring the full picture together. A redenomination, or LOP, is purely domestic. It adjusts numbers for local accounting, not international value. The dinar you hold outside Iraq is tied to the global exchange rate, not local cash handling. Iraq's currency controls maintain the separation between local and global systems, ensuring stability in both. The introduction of digital currency further proves Iraq's commitment to modernization and transparency. All signs point to progress, not collapse. When Iraq officially re-enters the full spectrum of international trade, investors who stayed calm and informed will benefit most. The revaluation, when it happens, will not mark the end of the story. It will be the beginning of Iraq's financial renaissance. Those who prepared will turn that moment into lasting prosperity. Those who panicked may watch opportunity slip away. Knowledge, not fear, determines outcomes. This is not a time for panic. It's a time for understanding. Iraq's reforms are calculated, deliberate, and supported by sound economic logic. Every adjustment, every modernization effort, every policy step is aimed at stability and global reintegration. Panic helps no one. Education helps everyone. The investors who study, prepare, and think long-term will stand on solid ground when the transformation completes. Looking ahead, patience will be your strongest ally. Iraq's financial evolution isn't happening overnight, but it is happening methodically, intelligently, and confidently. The nation is rebuilding trust with the world, and when that trust matures, the value of the dinar will reflect it. Investors who remain disciplined will share in that growth. So remember, don't panic, prepare. Stay informed, stay strategic, and focus on what you can control. History rewards those who act with knowledge, not fear. The Iraqi dinar's journey is not one of collapse, but of reconstruction and renewal. And when the moment arrives, those who understood the truth will be ready to build legacies that last for generations. Thank you for watching Iraqi Dinar News. We'll continue tracking every development, every official statement, and every verified policy update so you can stay informed with facts, not rumors. Until next time, stay smart, stay patient, and above all, stay prepared. Because the best is not behind us, it's right on the horizon.